Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, author of Visualizing Happiness in Every Area of Your Life and host of the podcast Incredible Life Creator. And today I have Mr. Lincoln S. Kokaram with me. Hey, Lincoln.
Hey, Kim. Good morning.
Yes, he is a fellow Georgian. We're both from Georgia. So happy to have you. And just so people know who you are, I'm going to read your short bio.
Okay.
So, Lincoln Kokaram is a sought after speaker with a proven track record of motivating his audience to be passionate about their work and relationships. His clients include Delta Airlines, United Postal Service, Cox Enterprises, Excite Auto, and many other corporations in over 35 countries, which allows him to adapt to different cultures. Lincoln is known for his high level energy and engaging speaking style mixed with fun and has a special gift of connecting his audience. He customizes his speeches to ensure that they are relevant to his audience. He has been recognized in the top 1% for leadership development on LinkedIn. He is the author of 2 books, Verse for the Day and With Passion, and a certified social emotional intelligence coach. All right, Lincoln. You were telling me a little bit about your story before we got on here, but you got to start at the beginning so everybody can know the story.
Okay. It's a good story. And first, I was born in Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean islands. It's the last island in the West Indies chain there, right on the northeastern coast of South America, Venezuela. Kim, I did a session once for a men's group, and the title was According to God's Plan. I was born in an ajupa. And an ajupa is a mud house. We did not have a stove. We did not have a toilet. It was an outhouse kind of deal. We did not have running water. My mother cooked on a fire with wood on a fire, and that food tastes so good. And grew up in Trinidad, living the life, doing very well. And then people always say, oh, why did you leave that beautiful tropical island with beaches and coconut water, and all the good stuff? I didn't leave. I was invited. I did not leave. I was invited. That was a God thing, Kim. In 1984, I was vice president of JC's International. They now changed the name to Junior Chamber International. It's a leadership development organization. It's a worldwide nonprofit voluntary organization. I really love the organization. And I was doing very well there. And I was vice president. You want to hear what my assigned territory was, Kim? I was assigned to Bermuda, the Bahamas, the Netherlands Antilles, Belize, and Suriname. And my role as the vice president was to visit these countries and inspire the members, train the leaders, do radio and TV interviews, let the people know we're not a communist organization. We don't want to take over the government kind of deal. We are a service-oriented government organization. And I loved it. I made a lot of good friends all over the Caribbean and these are different countries. And then, so my goal was to become a world president. There was one other guy from my country, Trinidad, who was a world president, Conrad O'Brien, who inspired me. So that was my goal, and I was on my way. So in '84, I started campaigning for executive vice president, letting the people know I'm running kind of deal, I'm a candidate. And then in June of 1984, I get a phone call from the Secretary General of the World Headquarters, which was based in Coral Gables at the time. His name is Richard Hayward, British guy, nice guy. We knew each other. And the conversation went something like this. Hey, Lincoln. Hey, Richard, what can I do for you? He said, well, we know you're running for executive vice president. And we know that if you run, you're going to win. Everybody loves you. You've done a great job for us. But, and Kim, when you're having a conversation with somebody and they say, but, you better raise your antenna. But we need a director of training and development at the world headquarters. And we've looked around and we would like for you to be that person. And if you agree, we will make all the arrangements to bring you to the United States. Talk about how Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. In his heart, a man makes his plans, but the Lord guides his footsteps. I didn't even know they were looking. I had no desire to leave paradise where I had my support system. I had a great job. I was making more money than I needed. You know, all my brothers and sisters, childhood friends, a great church. I was a lay preacher in the church, very active. Oh man, I was living the life. But I told him, I said, Richard, let me pray about this and I'll call you back. Is that okay? He said, yeah, take your time, call me back. Prayed about it. And I got a sense the Lord said, Lincoln, you need a break. Go. Cut a long story short, March 7, 1985, I landed in Miami International Airport with 2 suitcases in my hand. And Kim, it's like, you talk about an oyster, the whole world opened up to me. Amazing. And everything that I touched, every project they gave me was like golden. Because he had me. He was my inspiration. And you know, like Solomon got his wisdom from the Lord. That's like, it was so amazing. I've been to countries like Indonesia, you know, Papua New Guinea, woo, you know, Japan, and I don't speak the language kind of deal, but you know what? A smile and immersing in the culture of a country, adapting to their way and not trying to enforce your way on them, they embrace you. A simple little thing, Kim. When they told me I was going to be going to Asia a lot, I learned to eat. I learned to eat with chopsticks. It's amazing how when you're having a meal with the people and they see you how eating with the chopsticks, that little thing made a big, and they embrace you. People, you know, when you adapt to people, don't ask them to adapt to you. Adapt to their culture. It's their land. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. It works. I remember my very first World Congress was in Cartagena, Colombia, and my role was to arrange all the training seminars, arrange the speakers. You know, I mean, I'm talking about like, it was a week program. I'm talking like 15, 20 workshops during that time. So what we normally would do is the convention director would go out and do a pre-visit, meet the local organizing committee, tell them what our needs are, and then come back and brief us. And he came back and the briefing, he said, people, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're going to be on your own when you get there. Those people are lazy, they don't want to do anything, they don't want to help you, so you're going to be on your own. So, okay, I go there. Cartagena, Colombia is a beautiful place, Kim. The people were so friendly. But again, I don't speak Spanish, but I know a couple of words. I know buenos dias. I know como esta. I know muchas gracias. You know, and everybody I saw, the guy sweeping in the convention center, sweeping room, buenos dias, mi amigo, como esta? And Kim, I got everything I needed, plus more than what I expected. No problem whatsoever. In fact, once, you know, they assigned a translator to each one of us, a student from the nearby university. So I was in my office, and there were 2 of them in my office. And the Secretary General was walking by, and he thought he was, hey, how come you got 2 translators? I don't know. I didn't. How you treat people, that's how they're going to treat you. So that's my story. That's how I came to this country. I got remarried. We got 2 kids. They didn't want to go to Trinidad. They wanted to stay here. And I am devoted to my family kind of deal. And again, I see how the Lord guide me, protect me, and how he brought me to Georgia. I didn't plan on coming here. But he is my puppet. He is my puppeteer. I'm his puppet. He's pulling and I love it, and I have it there, and So that's my story. And I stopped working many, many, many years ago, and I started living my life. And like in my book, with passion, I tell people, stop working, start performing.
Mhm.
Don't go to work tomorrow. Work is hard. Perform. You're a movie star.
Mhm.
You're the star in the movie of your life. Make every day an Oscar-winning performance. And it's a mindset thing. When you say I'm going to work, that sounds a negative, hard. But when you say I'm going to perform today, woohoo! Yeah,
I'm gonna be on stage.
yeah, because people looking at you, right? People looking at you, their eyes, you don't even, and you see behavior. People don't know what you're thinking. They don't know who you are. They've never seen you before, but they see your behavior and how you behave. They make eye contact with you. They listen to the tone of your voice, and they know whether you're genuine or you're faking it.
Mhm.
So that's why we must be aware and manage our behavior, recognize the people around you, be aware. Most of our people, you know what we're doing? This is what we're aware of.
Mhm.
Come on, people. You know, that's why we're losing the human connection, Kim. I'm very concerned about the next generation. Very concerned. And anything I can do to help people to make that human connection, to recognize that other human in front of you who are passing by you, to say, good morning, how are you today? Have a good day. When you're in the supermarket and you in line, that cashier, they got the name badge, call them by name.
Mhm.
Hey, Kim, how are you doing today? Thank you for providing such excellent service. You know, we need that. That's why, and if you go to my website, you would see all my work is organic, no AI. It comes from here and it comes from here.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's my story, Kim,
Well,
and I'm
thank
sticking to it.
you. Thank you. So let me ask you this. I forgot the word you said, but when you were being raised in the mud hut with your mom, her making this delicious food, I mean, do you think was it your mom? Was it who in your life you think influenced you to have this really social awareness of yourself and other people?
My mother,
Mm.
my mother. I'm amazed now because she was a school teacher. I'm amazed at how she did what she did with the resources she had. Friends will come home, she always had me extra food to provide. Neighbor is sick, she will take this to the neighbor kind of deal. She was like the psychiatrist for the village. People would come to her for advice and for prayers. And then, you see, the other thing is example, modeling good behavior.
Mhm.
She never forced me to do anything but by her example. I saw her every morning reading her Bible, doing her daily bread. She never said, Lincoln, come join me. But you know what? It made an impact on my mind. And that's what I start every day, my daily devotion. I have my upper room. I have my Jesus calling, and I have my Psalms that I read and I pray every morning.
Mhm.
And it keeps me going. And then my mother, she she gave me a lot of advice, but the best advice she gave me, listen to this, write it down. Son, aim for the skies. If you aim for the skies and you miss, you're going to fall on the clouds, and that's a fluffy landing.
Mhm.
If you aim for the clouds and you miss, you're going to fall on the mountaintop. You're going to get hurt. You might even get a couple of bones broken.
Mhm.
If you aim for the mountaintops and you miss, you're going to fall on the ground. You're going to die. They're going to scrape you off the ground. Kim, I've aimed for the skies ever since. And I haven't hit the sky yet. That will be my last hurrah. But a lot of soft, fluffy landing,
Mhm.
but aim for the skies. Too many people are limiting their own capabilities and are not living up to their full talent. In all respect to the guys who wrote that book, I'm okay, you okay?
Mhm.
I'm not okay, Kim. You're not okay. God did not make okay. He made us in his image. We are great.
Mhm.
Be great. Be the best you that you were designed to be. Too many people are settling for, okay, that will do. That's enough. No, you're just existing. You know, that song really inspired me, Matthew Wessing, The Motions. Too many people are going through the motions, Kim, checking in, checking out. And that's why the world, the economy is in a mess because people are picking up a paycheck under false pretense and just showing up and signing in and checking out, and they're not performing.
Mhm.
They're not performing to their best. They're not giving their best. You're getting paid to give your best.
Mhm.
Do it. This is take ownership. This is our world. This is our time.
Mhm.
This is our time. You know, we think, well, if we're looking at what other people are doing. No, be you.
Mhm.
Be you. Don't be a copycat. You know, they say, they have the saying, monkey see, monkey do. You're not a monkey, people. You're a human being. You're the only creation that was given the gift of free will to choose.
Mhm.
Make wise choices. Make wise choices. I came. I'm sorry, but I'm on a soapbox.
This is beautiful. So,
Thank you.
you know what's so funny? You were talking about, when you go to work or just anywhere, you're on a stage, perform. And the really funny thing is, I woke up this morning and I was starting to brush my teeth, and this song popped into my head. There's no business like show business. That's no business I know.
Yeah.
Everything about it is appealing. Everything the public will allow. You know, and it says, show people are like nobody else. They smile when they're low. They're performing. They're excited. They're happy. They're up there. And even when things are going wrong, they're up in the stage and they're smiling anyway.
Yeah. Yep. It's life is a stage. People are, whether you want it or not, people are looking at you and they're looking at you and they're judging you based on how you behave. You know, I teach communication. 70% of communication is nonverbal.
Mhm.
Nonverbal. 70%. People listen to your tone, they look at your eyes, the way are you smiling, are you serious? And it impacts people. What's wrong with him?
Mhm.
You're not looking too happy today. And some of them are courageous enough to say, hey, what's wrong, Lincoln? You okay? And that's a caring and compassionate person.
Mhm.
That's a caring and compassionate person. They're this saying, if you want to walk on water, you got to step out of the boat. Too many people are living in their comfort zone.
Mhm.
Like when I teach my With Passion workshop, I do a reference of the caterpillar in a cocoon. It's comfortable, it's warm, it doesn't have to worry about anything while it's in the cocoon. But what is it doing? It's pushing, it's pushing. And eventually that ugly thing breaks out and a beautiful butterfly. Too many people are still in the cocoon. Break out, people. Come on. The world needs more butterflies in the world. And let's touch people. What does a butterfly do? It makes people look, oh, how pretty, how beautiful. It pollinates the flowers, kind of deal, and fly around. Just be like butterfly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's beautiful. I mean, the purpose of this whole podcast is for people to find their passion and purpose and live it. And, I do that by having all sorts of people so we can spark ideas. If you don't know what you have to do next or what you're going to do next, or you haven't been guided yet, then start looking at other people and say, what are they doing? Oh, I could do something like that or similar, or maybe it gives you your own idea of,
Yeah.
what do you want to be and what lights you up?
Kim, on my website, I have a free assessment. You see, that's the other thing. People, they just go through life, they don't stop and do an assessment. Where am I today? What are my strengths? What are the things that I like to do? What are the things that I don't like to do? So there's an assessment. It's just like about 10 questions, and it's free. Go on the site and just do it. I will get an email from you when you finish, and I'll just send you a little explanation of what it's all about. But that again, I have to go back to Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. In his heart, a man makes his plan. I don't want to be a coach. I don't want to be a trainer. I don't want to be a public speaker. In high school, when you have career day, I was still living in the Caribbean in Trinidad and Tobago. We were still a member of the British Commonwealth. My goal was to be an Air Force pilot. That's what I wanted to be. So when I graduated from high school and having a conversation with my mother, and I told her, I said, Ma, I'm going to apply to the Royal Air Force to be a cadet and join the Royal Air Force. I'm her youngest son. She said, no. You're not going to fly any jet. You're not going to go into battle. And in those days, what Mama said, you did what Mama said. So my next choice was, okay, is what I'm talking about. This is 1967, 68. Computers were now, evolving, and computer programming was, okay, I'm going to go to the United States and learn to be a computer programmer. She said to me, you can't even boil water. How are you going to take care of yourself in a foreign country like that? So that killed that project. So then started applying because my mother was a single mother, applying for jobs. Actually calling my friend, hey, who's hiring, kind of deal. Finally, I got a job with the civil service, with the government. It was a correspondence clerk, the most boring thing I ever did. My job was in the morning, the mail come in, I will look at the mail, I will sort the mail, put it in different folders for the different departments. It took me about an hour to do that, and then I was the morning mail and the afternoon mail, and I was just looking around for the rest of the day. But I applied for teaching because I come from a teaching family. My mother was a teacher all her life. My older brother, principal of a high school. My sister-in-laws, 2 sisters-in-laws were teachers. So I was in that kind of environment. So I applied. Everybody said, why don't you apply for teaching? I applied for teaching. I got into they called me for an interview. The guy who was interviewing me knew my mother. So I was appointed as an assistant teacher at the Santa Flora Government School. Kim, from the very first day, I just loved it. I just loved it. And it just came naturally. I found my calling. I was the school teacher. I was the cricket coach. I was the soccer coach. I was the drama coach. That place was like a second home for me. And you know what? And now I'm reaping the rewards because my students are now adults. Because I was like about 5 years older than them, kind of deal, before I went off to college and got my degree in education. And now through social media, they're telling me how much they love me, the impact I had upon them. And I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just loving and enjoying the time, teaching. And then look at how when I left teaching, because I got kind of disappointed with the bureaucracy of the organization and the lack of creativity and so traditional in their approach kind of deal. So I quit and I went into insurance sales. Within a year, I was teaching the other salespeople how to sell insurance. Yeah. And look how I came.
Teaching.
Yeah. So now I'm sharing, teaching. I teach a Bible study every Wednesday night on Zoom. Every opportunity to teach, it's a calling. I will do it for free. Some people tell me, you should not say that. No. I will do it for free because I love it. Yeah. And that's what I do. Amazing. God's grace, by his grace. Yeah. Look how I meet you. We didn't plan this.
No.
And from the very first moment, we clicked.
Yeah.
We clicked. Yeah. So, and then social and emotional intelligence. Kim,
Mhm.
I want you to share this with you. This is in my heart. Right now, this time, many students are graduating from high school, and most of them are going off to college come end of August. They're leaving the security of their home, the supervision of their parents and their churches, their good friends, and they're going into a whole new environment where they're going to meet strangers who they've never met before. And I've seen, God have mercy, I've seen some great students, brilliant, who had a full ride, lose it and become alcoholic, get involved in drugs, in promiscuity, they get into the wrong company because we don't do a good job of preparing them for what's to come. So emotional intelligence, 80% of how we behave is impacted by how we feel, but it's not taught in academia. Life skills are not taught in academia. How to make decisions, how to resolve conflict, who should I trust, how to communicate with people is not taught in academia. I teach that. And there is a youth version of the social and emotional intelligence profile. And I'm willing to do it for anybody who would. I'm a sower of the seed. I don't force things on people. I expose them to it. I'm going to do a video about what it's all about and put it out there and offer if you want to get it done. And people, when people graduate, their friends, their family, they buy them gifts, presents. The best gift you can present to a graduate, whether it's graduating from high school or college, is their social emotional intelligence profile. And 1 hour coaching with me is the best gift. Think about it.
Well, yeah,
And if
need
you
that
want,
everywhere. You need it
yeah,
everywhere to be successful and to be safe. I mean, really, like what you said, just for safety reasons.
yeah. Uh, I have to apologize to the kids who I knew before I knew about this, and I did not help them prepare. My own children, had to rescue them, and thank God I pray for them. But we need to do more. We need to do more. Churches need to step up and coach their kids how to prepare them for this new world. And I do capitalizing on change. Change. You're facing. We are living in a changing world. How do you? When I did that speech on capitalizing on change, the VP at UPS, the topic she gave me was coping with change. Her name is Terry, good friend of mine. She's now my son's mother-in-law. I said, Terry, can I edit that topic just a little bit? She said, what do you want to call it? I said, well, I don't want to stand on your stage and tell your people that I'm here to talk to you about coping with change. Coping is a negative word. Coping is, you don't cope. You're a human being. I want to stand on your stage and tell your people, I'm here to talk to you about capitalizing on change.
Oh, I love that.
She
That's a
loved
whole
it.
different message, isn't it?
Yeah, she loved it. We had a great time, and a recording of it is on my website. So we live in a changing world. But who coached you on how to deal with it, how to capitalize, how to make the best of the change? I mean, look at you and me. You were not born in coming, were you?
No.
Change. We go to kindergarten, and we go to elementary school, we go to middle school, we go to high school, we go to college or trade school. Change. Oh, change. Look at the cell phone. I didn't have a cell phone when I was 10, 15 years old. Change. Computer. Look at virtual Zoom. You ain't coming, Georgia, and it's like we're right next to each other.
I know.
Change. enjoy it, capitalize it, use it, utilize it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Exactly, because nothing stays the same. I mean, think about like a favorite place you visited with your family or something like that. And you think, well, when I go back and visit that place, I'm gonna have that same experience. You go back and the same stores aren't even there.
You know,
Nothing's the same, and you're like, but dude, I
nothing,
had all these
nothing.
memories. I mean, I remember growing up, we lived in Michigan across from Canada, so we go across the bridge all the time to Canada, which is
Yeah.
normal for us. And there was this place when I was a child that had fish and chips. So it was these, fish that really crunchy outside and French fries. And we loved that place. And then later on, maybe when, me and my sister were maybe in our 40s, we said, we haven't been to that place since we were children. Let's go try it. Well, since then, we both eat really healthy and we're used to really clean, fresh food. So we said, we're going to go there because we loved that when we were kids. We went there, we got that fish and chips, and it was just dripping with grease and and we took a few bites and we couldn't even eat it anymore because
Yeah.
we had changed that much, and we're
Yep.
thinking we're going to have this great experience of, having this fish, and it was very different.
Now, we're living in a changing world. But like I tell people, there are some things you do not change that will help you to capitalize on the things that do change, like your faith, your integrity, your character, your friends, family. You didn't choose your family. You can't change them. You can't change anybody. Yourself is the only thing you have full control over. I never forget, I learned a lesson from before we had Google Maps and Waze, we had a TomTom. Some of the younger people would know what a TomTom is, but it's a GPS system.
Mhm.
So when I was still working full-time at Cox Enterprises, auto trader, and I used to travel all over the country training their salespeople and their managers. So I had to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm living here in Georgia. So the first time I went, I flew, and I said, wait a minute. The time it took for me to get to the airport and get to, I could have been there driving. So the second time I decided, I'm going to drive. Put the address in where I'm going, and the lady is talking to me. Say, okay, 85 North, exit 69. And there is an exit 69, believe it or not, on 85 North.
Mhm.
So I don't know where I'm going, so I'm being obedient. And come to find out, 69 was a loop. It goes, and it come right back up to the 85. Okay. The second time I'm going, I put it again, and she said exit 69. But I know it's a loop, so I just kept going. I know I'm listening to hear what she's going to say. And this is what I'm thinking. She's going to say, Lincoln, didn't you hear me? You think you're smarter than me? No, she said, recalculating.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. What a life lesson. And since then, I've made a little sign, less reacting, more recalculating.
Mm.
We are naturally reactive people. If we would learn to hit the pause button and then choose what's the best response, not the best reaction,
Mhm.
we will make less mistakes. We'll have less stress in our life. We'll have less conflict in our life. We will be so much more productive. Life will become so much joyful and healthy because stress is a killer. Hit the pause button and less reacting, more recalculating. Recalculate. Yep.
That is beautiful advice, and that works in your life, that works in your business. In fact,
Yep.
in my book, I tell people, um, you know, about every 3 months, you want to take a look at everything that you're doing and everything that you say, what do I want right now? Because what you
Yeah.
want now may not be the same thing as what you wanted 3 months ago, or
Nope.
your
Nope.
priorities might have changed a bit.
Yep. Yes. Yes, sir. It's life is to live, not to exist. Because you never know when is the last moment. That's another song that kind of resonated with me. If I had known it was the last time, I would have spent more time with you. I would have hugged you tighter. I would have told you how much I love you. We never know. Nowadays, people are so busy, they can't respond. You get a phone call, you have contacts, you know who is calling, call them back. You get a text back. Respond. You know what kind of upset me a little bit? People who you send them a calendar invite and they don't accept, or when saying no is better than no answer at all.
Yes, it is. So you know what's going on.
Definitely, yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. People that heart, that emotion, that connection, we're losing it. We're losing it. Bring it back. Bring it back. Connect with your person. You're not a robot. This AI thing, it has this place. Don't get me wrong. It has this place, but it's not the end all. The human connect. AI does not have a heart. So show your heart. Love, the greatest commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. And you see, love is so easy to show love and demonstrate love. Acknowledge somebody. Good morning. How are you today? How are you? Your neighbors. Get to know your neighbors. They live right next door to you. Get to know your neighbors. The person on my left, John and Emily is on my left, Billy is on my right. Get to know them. Introduce yourself. When you see a house up for sale, new people come into your area, welcome them. Welcome them. Simple little things. Don't cost you anything, but it makes such a big difference. Makes such a big difference. Be a light, people. Be a light. Yep. Let your light shine bright in this world. The world is full of darkness. We need more light.
Beautiful. So, Lincoln, if people wanted to connect with you, why don't you share with us, your website or how they can connect?
My website is very simple, www.hisbusinesspartners.com. Email lincoln@hisbusinesspartners.com. And if they like, I do a Bible verse every day, Monday to Friday. Everybody on that list choose to be on the list. I don't spam it. And there are over 300 people on the list. And it has evolved into a prayer request. So every Monday to Friday, I send out the Bible verse. And then every Tuesday, I do what's called my RAT, R-A-T, Tuesday tip. And this is more a life business tip. RAT stands for Retain, Apply, Transfer. You see, learning is an ongoing process. You don't stop learning when you graduate from college. Life is learning, living is learning, experience is learning. So retain, and how do we learn? When we retain, apply, and transfer. So that's where the RAT came from. So I do a RAT Tuesday tip every Tuesday. So if people want, they can email me, hey, sign me up for your tips. No cost, no charge. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Now I have a personal question. What gives you the most happiness and fulfillment in your life right now?
Right now, talking to you, sharing with you, sharing what might inspire. Somebody is going to be inspired today. Somebody is going to smile more today, from today going forward. Somebody is going to turn up the passion for what they do, for their life, for their worship. any opportunity to share, to coach, to speak, to preach, to teach. That's what I live for. And on Fridays, I go play golf.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Oh, you're welcome. And I really like the free flow, Kim. This was really good. And so I hope that we touch some people today in a positive, constructive way.
Yes, I know we are. And I have one last question. What is your best advice on living an incredible, amazing life?
Your best advice, amazing, incredible, amazing. Live it. Live it. You are the star in the movie of your life. Make every day an Oscar-winning performance. Because once life is made up of moments. Once a moment is gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. Opportunities. Look for opportunities to serve, to make somebody happy. Because you know what? When you make somebody happy, you feel happy too. To be a positive change on one. If you have made one person, you've lived. You've lived. But always remember, there's only. Look at what's happening in our world today, Kim. The culture, marketing, they're telling the girls to be the best your hair has to be a certain color. You have to be a certain shape, a certain weight. And they're spending a lot of money and it's not working. The guys, we don't get away. They tell us to be special. We have to drink a certain brand of beer or drive a certain type of car or wear a certain brand of clothing. Or we got to be 6'2" and 180 pounds. And people are working out in the gyms and all of that is not working. Let me tell you something, people. You are special. And there are only two reasons why you should know that you're special and it doesn't cost you a dime. The first reason is our God created you in his image, the Almighty. He didn't create anything else in his image but you and me. And guess what? If you Google the world population, it come up to 7.9 billion. I'm sure we can round that up to 8 billion. There is only one Dr. Kimberley Linert in this whole wide world. And there's only one Lincoln Kokaram in this whole wide world. That makes us more unique than the biggest diamond in the whole wide world. You're special. Now, you can go and make other people feel special. So when you look in the mirror, see one of a kind, special, unique. They can't even clone you. Be special, make other people feel special.
Right. Thank you so much, Lincoln.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me. And I hope one day, since we live in Georgia, we get to maybe break bread together.
That would be awesome. We'll
Yeah.
talk to you soon.
Okay, Kim.